bad lighting, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm always like in the worst lighting, but I am parked my truck on my lunch break. Sorry, there's a plane going overhead. It's pretty loud. Good Lord. My lighting sucks. Wow. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted because I keep finding different areas of my truck that have been rifled through. The other day, me and my roommate's vehicles got broken into. I don't know how. We always lock our vehicles and they were both just open. All of my stuff and his stuff had been gone through. The glove compartments were open. The reason why I was looking up there is because I just realized my sunglasses storage little compartment thing was open. Yeah, it appears nothing was taken, but like I said, all of our things were rifled through, gone through. My center console was open. Just terrible. I mean, I already made a police report just in case, so they are aware of the situation, but yeah, dude, the devil's crazy out here attacking us, and you know, we're just gonna still keeping on, but I wanted to come on and say hello, just give you guys some quick encouragement. Worst lighting ever. It's like my chin is freaking radioactive glowworm. Can't believe I have no angle in which the sun is not completely blinding me. Maybe this angle. Yeah. So I did go ahead and I filmed my another video this morning, and I went ahead and uploaded my video that I was talking about, grieving in and everything. And that's a video, you know, I kind of knew I had to upload that video, but I really didn't want to. And because obviously I look like an idiot, I'm like crying, and you know, it's not that I'm embarrassed, it's just that it's hard to watch that, and I don't want people to like worry about me, like I'm okay and everything. I'm feeling a lot better. That was like weeks ago, so and I feel like I was probably at my lowest point on that day, and I've been feeling a lot better since then. Obviously things are not perfect still, but you know, we keep it moving and just try to keep doing my thing and being the best that I can while I'm healing. I don't really have much to report, but I did want to talk more about Jehovah's Witnesses, if anyone knows anything about the annual meeting. I'm so interested in that. I'm so interested in seeing what develops from that and seeing how they're kind of gonna like structure things moving forward. Even when I first heard about the annual meeting, like the 2023 annual meeting, and how you know, they were doing away with field service reporting, they were doing away with like destruction doctrine, it seems like. I watched it and just could not believe what I was hearing. But also, one thing that kept going through my mind, even before I heard about like the salvation type change in the doctrine, they, you know, saying that they were doing away with field service time reporting, I was thinking just from that alone, that would be something that they were probably going to lose people over, to be honest with you, because some of these people, like I said in my last video, that have been killing themselves trying to make service time, make up their time, that is going to lead to, unfortunately, I feel, a lot of bitterness within the Jehovah's Witnesses on some things, because, you know, here you have these people who have been, like, juicing themselves, like, squeezing themselves and getting every drop out, as it were, to perform for Watchtower, and now Watchtower's telling them, oh, actually, you don't have to perform for us. You know, and I can imagine that being a humongous stumbling block for a lot of people, especially people who wear that on their name badge, you know, or they wear it on their shoulder like a chip that they carry around as a badge to prove their worthiness for Jehovah and for the organization. And I'm really curious to see what kind of changes come about from these new light sort of, you know, revisions that they're doing. And yeah, I was like, wow, I could see them actually losing people just from that. But also, if they're gonna start preaching that, you know, non-Jehovah's Witnesses can be saved at the last moment, I feel like they're probably gonna lose people. People who have been in for a long time, they're going to be like, well, what's the point of even being in? Because we can just live our lives and, you know, be the best that we can be. And then at the real end, when I have more evidence, like, that this really is God's organization, you know, jump back in or whatever. I don't know. You know, you're going to have those people. You're also going to have people who are just angry because... doesn't that mean Jehovah's Witnesses aren't special? I mean, if you can just live your life however you want to and then still get saved at the last minute, I don't know. And the reason I'm saying that is because obviously that's how real life is. Like, anyone can get saved at the last minute. And, you know, as a Christian, like, I don't live my life that way, because, not to say that I don't sin and I don't make mistakes, but I live intentionally following the commands of God and doing my very utmost to resist sin and living every day for the Lord, because I love God and because I love Jesus and I want to make him proud of me. I want him to use me, and I want to be an obedient servant of him. Not because I think he has to see my works, but you can't help but love God and not do what he requires of you at the same time. But I can see them, you know, being like, what's the point? Because their whole thing is based in works. You know, it's not based on what your heart wants, because none of us would want to go to meeting. None of us would want to go out in service. None of us would want to study the Watchtower on Saturday before the meeting on Sunday or any of that stuff. We did it because we were literally forced to do it, and because it's checking a box on the functions that are required of us as servants of Jehovah. And now they don't have that anymore, and I'm just really super interested. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in some of the meetings and in some of the homes of the really devout, like, PME, like, people, the physically and mentally in people. And I'm just praying that this will kind of put a bug in my parents' brains to get them thinking, like, hey, like, maybe this is not the truth. Because the thing is, like, when you keep making doctrinal changes and you keep having errors, and then you're saying that you're the true religion and you're the mouthpiece of God, that's just not true. It's not, like, humans make mistakes, obviously, but the thing is, like, just follow what the Bible says. Stop putting things in the Bible that are not in the Bible. You know, I would not have an issue with Jehovah's Witnesses if they believed in salvation through Jesus Christ, first of all, which is in the Bible, and if they would report child molestations and have a actual legitimate system in place of reporting sex crimes to the police. And, I have an issue with the fact that they are rooted in Freemasonry, hiding hidden images in their literature. And that they're run by an organization, a body of men who are essentially telling all their followers to worship them. That's where my problems lie. And, if they really were the mouthpiece of God, why would they have to keep backtracking and making changes? Does God stutter? Like, does God give you... It's like me saying that God told me to do something, and then I start doing it, and I'm living that life for 10 years, and then only to go back and say, oh, actually, I was wrong. God didn't tell me to do that, so I'm going to do something else now because, I misunderstood or something. And, gosh, the sun is trying to fry my phone. I just can't win on this. I'm parked in, like, a horrible location. But anyways, I just find that really interesting how they can say these things, and it's one thing to make a mistake, but when you are claiming to be the mouthpiece of God, like, that's a different story. And you're telling your followers they have to be obedient to Jehovah. They're not being obedient to Jehovah, they're being obedient to the Watchtower. The Watchtower organization is who they serve. And, the whole time I was a Jehovah's Witness, I never had a relationship with Jehovah, period. I never felt a connection to Jehovah. I never had a relationship with him at all. And they don't have a relationship with God. Like, I've never heard a Jehovah's Witness say that Jehovah told them something. As a Christian, like, I feel like I 100% have heard from God. I know that I have, and he has directed things in my life and told me very specific things on some matters. And, the things that he has shown to me, I've fought some of them. Definitely, I've been in denial about some of them. I've fought him, been angry with him on them, and then, ended up giving in and being obedient and doing what he wanted because, I'm a human. And, first and foremost, it's like you want to make sure you're not just interpreting your own thoughts or something, but the Lord has a very specific way of speaking to each of us individually where we know that he's speaking to us. And that's fine if the governing body want to claim that they hear from Jehovah, but what's with all the backtracking? What's with all the new light stuff? What's with all of the still, like, really big problems that are in each congregation? What's up with that? What's up with the child abuse policy and shuffling child molesters around, sending them to different kingdom halls to hide them instead of reporting them to the police, and hiding records and folders and files that you keep on your members, which expose pedophiles and criminals and even murderers. And the elder body just hides that stuff. And that's not right. It's not right because other people live in this world and, they just don't care. But again, with the salvation thing, how does that tie into the us versus them mentality that the Jehovah's Witnesses love to lord over everyone else's heads all the time? That they're better than everyone else and they are God's special chosen group. And no one else can have any sort of thing to do with that because, oh, we have Jehovah. Well, if a person can be on their deathbed and get a relationship with Jehovah just like that at the snap of their fingers and repent and get saved at the last moment, I feel like that's going to cause some saltiness within the organization. I mean, it should make people happy, but, I can just kind of see it going down a different way. I'm trying to get away from the light because it's baking my phone also. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with that. I mean, it is a little exciting too. But, just in general, like seeing how they're going to react, how it's going to change things. I mean, you guys know, like, I'm praying for my family so hard. I would never want to control them or make them do something. I just want them to be free. I want them to be happy. I want them to really know God and not some tyrant organization that says that they're God. I have no doubt that my mom and my dad and my siblings love God, just as I did when I was a Jehovah's Witness. I loved God with all my heart. But it was not God that I was serving. It was the God of Watchtower. That whole organization, it was their God. And their God is the governing body because they don't do anything. They don't put a toe out of line, a hair out of place unless the governing body tells them to. And that's what I have an issue with, because nowhere in the Bible does it say anything to do with having 9 men in New York dictate your life and filter the scriptures through themselves to you and spoon feed you. Moses didn't even have a Bible. Abraham did not have a body of elders to go to. So, explain that to me. Explain how man is supposed to have a relationship with God, and that's to say mankind having a relationship with God, if he's some unreachable entity that's just so distant from us. We need not one or two, but a group of these holy men, these elect few men to interpret it for us. It's just very pretentious. It's very deceptive. It's a lie from Satan, to be honest with you. And I have a really hard time. I watch their videos only occasionally when I can stomach it, and to figure out, what is going on, because, I try to put myself in my family's position, and I try to think of how I would react if I was still in, and I just have a really hard time because, I constantly ask myself when I watch, just like when I watch the annual meeting, if I was in watching this, would I be sitting there would I be eating it up? Would I be believing it? I feel like I wouldn't. I feel like I would be looking at that and rolling my eyes and being like, when can I get out of here? And I don't know, it's so hard for me to imagine my mom and my dad sitting there listening to these lies and the clear manipulation and not understanding that they're being gaslit and they're being controlled by a body of men that does not have their best interest at heart. And I just pray every single day that they get free from that and they learn the real truth, and it has nothing to do with men sitting in New York. It has to do with God Almighty, who actually loves them. The elder body does not love the members of the Jehovah's Witnesses. 100%. They don't give a crap about those people. And I can go off on a whole rant on that, but they don't care about those people. They don't care about the members, and they don't care about all the families that have been torn apart, ruined, and decimated from their disgusting shunning policies. They don't care. And I don't know. It's, you know, it just blows my mind. They don't care. And yet they have all these people's subservience and, like, their blind obedience. So I think now more than ever, we need to be praying for the Jehovah's Witnesses, for the people to wake up. Anyone who's still physically in, mentally out, like Pimo, please, like, drop some truth bombs about the stuff that I'm talking about. Open people's eyes and help them to see, like, this is not something small. These are big changes, and, you know, it makes doubts surface in my mind, so I'm hoping that doubts will surface in other people's minds as well. Anyways, I gotta get back to work, but I love you guys so much. As always, thanks for chatting with me, hanging out with me real quick. I love you guys so much. Stay blessed up. Peace.